Thank you, RDO. Well, we have come to our final award of the evening, the Stewardship Award. This category honors individuals that are actively displaying exemplary community involvement and enhancing agribusiness through leadership or technology development. The Stewardship Award is sponsored by Basin Pacific Insurance. Please help me welcome Bob and Gail Ransom to honor and induct our 2019 Ag Hall of Fame Stewardship Award recipients, Jeff and Vicki, my boss, Gordon.
It is with great enthusiasm and appreciation that we supported the nomination of Jeff and Vicki Gordon to the Ag Hall of Fame. Jeff and Vicki have devoted 40 years growing the Washington wine industry, promoting agriculture, and supporting this community. When Jeff and Vicki, along with Jeff's brother Bill, planted their first Chardonnay grapes in 1981, there were 19 wineries and less than 5,000 acres of vineyard in the state of Washington. Today, there are over 900 wineries and 50,000 acres of wine grapes. The piece of land that they transformed from sagebrush to vineyards and orchards is a work of art. Jeff's leadership in the growth of the Washington wine industry has focused on quality and access. Jeff was the second president of the Washington Wine Grape Growers. He also served as the president of the Wine Commission. He was a member of the commission from 1997 to 2009. Jeff and Vicki's greatest contribution to the Washington wine industry was their leadership in Washington State University's Campaign for Wine. This effort established the WSU Wine Center on the Tri-City campus. The Wine Center is a world-class research and education facility which will provide students hands-on experience in viticulture and enology and for generations for the future winemakers and vineyard professionals. As WSU alumni, Jeff and Vicki have given back to their alma mater by volunteering their time and treasure to both the Pullman and Tri-City campuses. They have served on numerous WSU boards, committees, and campaigns along with the WSU Foundation Board. Jeff and Vicki are longtime active members of the Mid-Columbia Catholic community. They served an important role in the establishment of Tri-City Prep, the only Catholic high school in the area. Tri-Cities Prep provides students with a quality faith-based education that focuses on the values of peace, love, justice, and truth. The values of Tri-City Prep are the values of the Gordon family, and they have displayed that in all aspects of their farm life, their community life, and their faith life. The Potters said it best in their letter of support. Jeff and Vicki have continued through decades with a wide variety of pursuits, playing the role of leaders, followers, and team players in order to accomplish so many wonderful, impactful improvements to this community. While we have listed Jeff and Vicki's influence on the growth of the wine industry through their service on boards and committees, it is intrinsic value of work and work ethic which should truly be honored. Jeff has flown all over the world promoting Columbia and Washington wines. On most days of the week, you can find Vicki in her car driving to a meeting. She currently serves as a Port of Pasco commissioner and is on the board of directors of Yakima Federal Savings and Loan. They are one of the best examples to those in the agriculture industry that hard work matters. Thank you.
We started in growing vegetables, potatoes, onions, and corn, but mostly potatoes for processed and a few open. And then we bought this place. We had some consultants, extension people come out. Walt Clore came out. He said plant wine grapes. He was really pretty adamant about it. When we started planting, there were 4,000 acres of wine grapes in the state. Now there's 60,000 acres of wine grapes.
I've done the books, and when I went to college, I majored in pre-physical therapy. Didn't help me at all for what I've been doing my whole life. I think just stay light on your feet and read and study, you know, as you go along, and learn as you go along.
What makes Washington unique is that the terroir, the geography, the rainfall, the soils, everything, it's like they wrote the book and then they created the Columbia Valley. Dry, hot summers, cool nights. I mean, it's a textbook place for growing vinifera wine grapes.
It's really a wonderful industry. Jeff always says that wineries aren't like shoe stores. You want one on every corner. It just helps.
We were very fortunate to have some really good friends in the industry, and there were some relationships out there that I used to help me get started. And you know, you've got to have those relationships, those people relationships.
Thank you to the Pasco Chamber of Commerce for giving us this honor, and to the people, our friends that nominated us, and our family. It's really special.
Here to present the Stewardship Award is Bill Shibley with Basin Pacific Insurance.
Basin Pacific is proud to give this award to Jeff and Vicki, and I have to say, about 20-some years ago when I first showed up here, they were some of the first people I met, and of all things, it was at a stewardship event for Delta Gamma Alumni Association. So it's very fitting that they're receiving the Stewardship Award, and as many of the people have said, the thing that makes the Columbia Basin different is the people, and it's people like Jeff and Vicki.
So Tim Tippett said, keep it short, Gordon. So as soon as I finish the preamble of the Constitution, I'll kind of try to get through things a little bit quicker. But anyway, I'm not going to take a lot of time. I think I want to thank the Ag Hall of Fame and the Pasco Chamber. This is really a humbling award. I want to thank Bob and Gail for nominating us, but more importantly for being our friends. You can't do something like this without some really good help, and I had one of the best partners, my brother Bill, help. We worked really hard and spent a lot of time out there, and Bill was integral in all of that being developed. And then my other brother Ramon Armenta, who is sitting here in the crowd, has been with us since 1982, and he looks out after us better than we look out after us, and I've said that to a number of people, so thanks, Ramon, I really appreciate it. And I also want to thank my daughter and her husband Mark and Katie, and they really take care of things now. We're not as active as we were in the process, but they do a great job, and we're really glad to have them involved in the company, and their kids, Luke and Max and Isaac, are just a treasure for us. So I want to tell one story about, everybody thinks, you know, farming's just good, you know, it's just a breeze. You just go out there and do it, right? And it just works. Well, the first year that we farmed together, I worked for a guy for nothing so I could use his equipment to farm my potatoes, and then I had a landlord that didn't make me pay any rent because he wanted a percentage of the crop, and it worked out really well. We had a great crop, everybody was happy at the end of the year, and we had a circle of potatoes contracted with Lamb Weston. So year 2, we're going to double up. We're going to have 2 circles of potatoes, and this is where it all went to hell. Everything was looking really good, and the 4th of July went out to the fields and checked everything, and talked to everybody. Nobody was working. You were just kind of going to have a nice day, and so I went home, and the guy who was working with me, kind of watching things, he calls me up and he says, "You need to come up here." And I says, "Why?" Because it was, he goes, "We just had a hailstorm and you ought to see this." And I said, "Do I really need to come up there? Because it couldn't be that bad." Well, there was a ditch about that deep going down the middle of my potato field and 4 feet wide, and the hail had destroyed 90% of the stems. I mean, it was ridiculous. Everybody says, "You need to walk away from this." No, I'm a dumb farmer. I'm going to make that crop. And so we worked that thing and worked that thing. I'm really proud of that crop. At the end of the year, I had $2,000 in the bank. The problem was I owed them $60,000. So anyway, they said, they called me in. He says, "Well, we need to take care of this." And I say, "Okay, we're going to do this again." And they're going, "Wait a minute, we got to get paid out first." And I said, "Ain't gonna happen. I got you know my bank balance, and you can have all of that, but after that there isn't anything." And they said, a guy by the name of Bill Lilly with Seafirst at the time, we worked really hard, and he helped me get some financing with SBA, and it all came back around, and it was a good deal, but it's not always as easy as it looks. And a lot of times it's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and that was just one of them. Boy, was that fun. I don't want to do that again. Anyway, again, I want to thank the Ag Hall of Fame, and I really, really want to thank my partner, Vicki, who has been with me so many years, and she's always been there and has always, stuck through it. Thank God. Her dad was an independent businessman, so he didn't bring home a paycheck every month. So she was kind of used to that, because there were some checks. Some months we didn't have any paychecks, but anyway, she's been there, and she's a trooper and the love of my life. So I want to thank her.
I just have one little story that I'm going to tell, but in the meantime, I want Katie and Mark and the boys, and Ramon, and Donna and Steve, and Bill and Laura to come up here, please. This is our immediate family, but there's about...
You have to do that. Get your butt
You have to, I said. But there's a lot of people in this room that could be up here with us as well. But as they're coming up, I'd like to tell you a little story. I grew up in Colfax, and there were town kids and there were farm kids. And one day we were on our way home from one of the farm kids' house, and we were my 2 sisters and my mom and I were in the car, and we were talking about what we wanted to be when we grew up. Well, I said, I want to be married to a farmer, and I want to live in a brick house. Well, my dreams have pretty much come true. And I'll tell you what, I'm really glad my little sister's dreams didn't come true, because at her age and at that time, she piped up and said, when I grow up, I want to be a dog. So her dreams didn't come true, but mine did. And I'm so glad to be married to a farmer. This is my family. Thank you so much. This is such an honor.
I want to introduce my sister Donna and her husband Steve. They farm basically my dad's place and Steve's dad's place up in St. John, Washington, and actually literally grew up a fence row apart. So the 2 farms combined. But anyway, I was really glad that they came down, and. If you want somebody to run your life, I'll just get a hold of me and I'll have Donna help you.
Thank you, Jeff.